Chris, and you talk about family, you are in journalism, but you've also built somewhat of a family atmosphere, yourself with your King movement. Can you talk about the organization, the King movement, and where did that idea come about?
Yeah, the King movement is an acronym that stands for knowledge, inspiration, and nurture through God. And it is a national Christian men's movement. And the reason I got the idea for it, because it's really a national brotherhood, and our goal in a nutshell is to help strengthen men in their individual walks with Christ, so that we can be Christ-like Monday through Saturday, or maybe I should say Sunday afternoon through Saturday, but basically outside of the church. So in our marriages, in our relationships with our children, in the workplace, with our fraternity brothers, wherever it may be, that you can be Christ-like. Right. And we do that through teaching, through accountability, through encouragement, support, and fellowship or brotherhood. Mm-hmm. And what happened was when I became a Christian my senior year in college. I mean, I grew up as a Catholic, going to Catholic schools, but as far as really having a relationship with Christ and trying to live it out in my life, that came my senior year in college. And when I graduated, I was working at the Cleveland Plain Dealer, and I longed for brotherhood. Like, I didn't know many. I was 21 years old. I didn't know a lot of brothers my age that were really trying to live for the Lord. I knew guys that went to church, but as far as really trying to live it out in your daily life, I didn't know many. And I kind of longed for that brotherhood. I had brotherhood with my friends, with my frat brothers, some of my teammates living in Cleveland, but as far as guys that could relate to me in my journey with Christ, my faith, I didn't have that. Even the church I was at, which was a good church, the men were older, married. I'm single, I'm young. So I wanted dudes I could relate to in terms of hip hop, culture, sports, things outside of the church, but yet who love the Lord. And as I began to kind of meet guys around in Cleveland, where I was at in Cleveland, like that, I saw that they were kind of isolated too, and so I ended up seeing some of these guys. I saw a lot of guys who would be strong in their faith for 6 months and then fade for a year, or strong for a year and then fade for 3 months, 6 months, whatever. And depending on your background, we call that backsliding. But I knew dudes who became Christians in prison, or dudes who became Christians who had a street background. And for them, one of those down periods, they back on the street selling drugs, and they back in jail, and I felt like one of the reasons, there's many, but one of the reasons that a lot of them would struggle like that was because they didn't have that brotherhood, and they didn't have that group of men they could hang out with and kick it with, who were going to encourage them in the direction they wanted to go with the Lord, versus getting away from their biblical principles. And so those are some of the ideas that led me to want to start the King movement. And I came across a lot of guys doing great things on a local level. And I said, man, if we could unite and work together, we could really have a huge impact. So that's really were the thoughts behind King. I wanted a masculine name, which King obviously is. I think that, when you look at the church, particularly the Black church, it's overwhelmingly female. And you look in the Bible and you don't see like a dearth of men. I mean, there are plenty of women of God, but it's not like where are the men? We don't have any men of God, and so I'm like, are we presenting it the right way? We shouldn't have this lack of men. And so, we wanted a masculine name, and to present the gospel in a way that could relate to men. Right. And so, in doing that, we feel like, because we're very concerned about, the social issues and the African American upliftment and quality of life for Black people in America. And we feel like if we can strengthen men, just those that claim to follow Christ, and you'll get some that want to convert and stuff, but just those that claim to follow Christ, if we can get us to live out our faith, we'll strengthen our families, we'll strengthen our children, we'll strengthen our communities, and that will improve the quality of life for our people in this country. So in a nutshell is what led me to start K.I.N.G.